Welcome back to the Ride Laugh Podcast. If you love mountain biking, you are in the right place. Picture your last really fun group ride. You're back at the lot. Everyone's talking about the ride, bikes, tech, nutrition, trails, jumps, drops. That's what we do here every week on the Ride Laugh Podcast. You love bikes. We love bikes. Let's drop in. Sage, how are you today?
Danny, oh man, it's such a good day. Brother, how are you doing?
I am doing great. I'm practicing what I preach. I am staying present. I'm staying in the moment. Actually, I'm not, because I'm thinking about it a lot, which means I'm not in the moment, but I keep coming back to it. Keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
Man, if overthinking was a paid job, I would be a multi-billionaire.
Yeah. Oh my Lord.
Mama said I would never amount to anything. Look at all this. Look at all this money from overthinking.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, man.
Who's thinking too much now? Yeah.
Yeah. You are the classic overthinker. That is for sure. But that's not all negative. I mean, sometimes that actually, but like when things start to go awry for me is when I get a little bit jealous of you, because you do think through things and I tend not to. And so when things start to go sour, I'm like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And actually, you're a very helpful person to talk to when I get like that. So yeah, man, it's not all bad. That's for sure.
No, it certainly isn't. Everything's here for us.
That's right.
So, this conditioning that I have of wanting to be in thought and, and being in the future. Sometimes it serves me if I'm visualizing things that I want to happen and then they do happen.
That's right.
And I'm being positive, then it's serving me. But if I'm visualizing anxiety or it's causing me stress, then it's not serving me. And so being able to discern when our thoughts are helping us and which thoughts are helping us, and then really just be able to put those thoughts away. And when you can do that in life and when you can do that on the trail, I think everything just comes. I heard recently that for any situation that you might label a problem, the solution is right behind it. Just stay present. The solution, it's right there. It's coming right. It's right behind it.
I love it, dude. We had we didn't get into it on the previous podcast, but like we had a anxiety type moment situation. I was riding at Ceres with Brian, Terry, and David. And
hold on a second. Just for context, for any new listeners or anyone that is listening from a different part of the country, which is most of us, why would Ceres cause anxiety? What kind of biking is Ceres?
A great question. Sorry, yeah, I should have explained that. Ceres is a local park in New Jersey that has these huge gap jumps, and the issue is, unlike a table where you can come up short, these gaps are hard edged. There is. The case pad is very small, so you have to clear this gap. If you come up short, your back tire is going to hit the edge of the landing, which would definitely ruin your day for sure. So, they're pretty unique, and I absolutely love this place. But man, those jumps, they can get your heart rate going. And so when I was talking to Brian, he was saying that the guys that redid most of the jumps, they're much bigger now, and I was like, oh my goodness, I started
Brian on a bike.
Yeah, Brian on a bike, and we got to the lot, and he was like, I don't know if I'm going to do the carpet line. Which, by the way, Danny, it was 3 jumps. They've added a 4th, and they made all of them much longer. And oh boy, it was something else. But Brian was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do the 4th one. I was like, Brian, just let's see how the day goes, and by the end of the day, he cleared jump 4, no problem. Rider. He's unbelievable.
He's one of the best, one of the smoothest riders I've ever seen. He's so unbelievably smooth, comfortable.
Yes.
His jumping is out of this world. Yeah. He's a unbelievably good rider. It's interesting to hear, because he hadn't been jumping in a while. It's interesting to hear that someone, even that level, anxiety can creep back in.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Like, he's been coaching. That's it. So one of the jobs that he has a regular 9 to 5, but on the side, he does a lot of coaching. And because he's doing all that coaching, like, he's not getting time to ride. So he hasn't gotten much airtime on the jumps. And I think you're right. I think that was like, oh boy, I don't want to, and then listen, we're older guys, like I got a lot of things I think about, like, I don't want to get hurt right now. Not that younger people want to get hurt, but like, we got kids, we got jobs, like.
Yeah. That's what's so nerve wracking about a place like Ceres that doesn't really have a warm up line.
It doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
You're in it.
Yeah.
It's hard to stack wins like starting at level 3.5 out of 4. Because apparently we're not allowed to do go up to level 10.
That's right. Yeah.
Perfect scenario to have 10 levels. But you know what I mean? It's so like we were just talking about ride, before the podcast, we were just talking about that ride at Natalie, and like that's all like expert level stuff. Yeah. There's not really a warm up stack wins kind of flow there.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do in that situation?
It's situational, right? Stuck is a terrible word, but like you're stuck with the people that you're with. If those guys and gals are going off and doing this and you don't know the trails, you can't make a suggestion. This is not your ride. You got to go with the flow. And the hardest thing right there is just knowing yourself and just being like, okay, am I ready for this? Everyone else is doing it, and there's no other option to go get a warm-up line because that's not where everyone else is. And so you need to make that decision. You need to know yourself well enough to say, hey, I'm not warmed up yet. I'm not ready for this, and in the case of Ceres, you're right. It's tough. They this is not a fault of the builders, but those are their trails. If they want to make their trails bigger and more consequential, then that's what they're going to do. They don't have to leave progressive jumps and smaller jumps. Would that be nice? It would be nice. It would be nice to be able to like warm up on a smaller gap or a table or something, but that's not an option. So, I really had to like ask myself, are you good? Can you do this? And, as it turns out, I was.
Yeah. So it was a good day.
It was a great day, man. It was a great day. And Terry and David, well, Terry, we've ridden with Terry many times. That dude, he's got a moto background and he has no problems being in the air.
That's awesome. Those guys are, I know Steve and Nick, that Ceres group, they're just such high vibe guys. They're such awesome riders. And,
yeah.
And they're all really good trail builders. That's something that, that certainly gives you confidence when you're getting into a difficult line, just knowing that it's built to trail speed and that you can follow, especially if you're comfortable following Terry. And we've talked about following Steve in the past. Like if you're okay, I know if I follow this guy, he's going to give me the right speed and I got the skills. It's going to go. It's going to work.
Yeah.
So
great.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And how are the Radial tires feeling?
Dude, I have no complaints whatsoever. Ever since I took Jeff Jackson's advice and I added 2 more PSI to the tires, they have been no more rim dings. And again, I'm not ready to give my full, endorsement, but it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
Do you feel like there's an increase in traction so far?
I don't know if it's just traction. It's more about like, I guess it is traction, but like, I can't explain this, Danny. It's like, I can't wait for you to like ride your radials to kind of get what I'm saying. But it's almost like they're little fingers that are like just grabbing everything. It molds itself around stuff. And it just sounds so markety. I get it.
Creepy.
Like it sounds, well, yeah,
it sounds creepy.
It sounds creepy.
I don't want little fingers grabbing things. I don't want that at all. In fact, I will pay to not have that happen on my ride.
This is why I'm not on the marketing
team. Away from my stay away from my chamois cream. I'll tell you that much. I don't want these little fingers grabbing things while I'm putting on my chamois cream, and be assaulted by tires.
Danny, the best way that I can describe it is it's a sound. The way the tire sounds on the terrain, it's a very muted sound, and it's very cool. It's very, very cool.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to try it. As you mentioned, my rear tire was pretty spent on my Pivot Firebird, and I had these Schwalbe tires in my garage, and you put 2 new ones on yours, and I thought, let me put 2 new ones on my bike as well.
Yeah.
And I was at the shop. I didn't have the tires with me, and I had broken a spoke. So I went to Amigos and I said, please fix the spoke and I'll come back with the tires. Maybe I'll just like pay you guys to throw them on. And so I came back the next day. They fixed it like, right away. Amigos staff is awesome. They're great local bike shop here in the Valley. Yeah, great shop. And so they get it fixed up like right away. So I go back the next day. I have the tires in the car, and it would have been $20 to put the tire on, and they charge you for sealant, something like that. So, and I was like, well, I could save $40 or $45, and I could just do it myself.
Yeah.
And so I picked the bike up, and off I went. I go into my garage, and start getting to work. And man, these Radial tires, I don't do this kind of work all the time. So
yeah.
But I've changed plenty of tires. I put plenty of new tires on. I've changed plenty of tires, put tubes on the trail. You know what I mean? Like I've done this plenty of times.
Yeah.
Boy, was I wrestling with these tires. I mean, I was cursing. I mean, it was like I was sweating.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get these things on. And I text Jeff Jackson. I was like, yo, did you have a problem? Did you have a hard time with these? Because these are destroying me. And I'm about to go to the bike shop. Now I got to go back and forth to the bike shop. And he was like, yeah, it was hard. I definitely wrestled with it, but I got it eventually. He's like, try again in the morning and make sure you squeeze the tire into the center of the rim. And that can be, the center channel. So I went to sleep. And when I woke up in the morning, I was like, I want to give it another shot. I'm going to give it another shot. And sure enough, I was able to get that front one on. And once I got the front one on, I was like, all right, now I'm going to do the rear. The rear is a gravity casing. And Jeff was like, that might be even harder. I got it. I got it on. I wrestled with it, but I got it on. And I felt so good about myself. I took a picture of the bike. I sent it to Jeff Jackson. Yeah. I was like, victory is mine. I did it. I'm so stoked. And he texts me back. He's like, don't kill me. I'm pretty sure the rear one's on backwards.
Oh, no.
Man, I triple checked. I swear to God, I triple checked, and I must have done like a triple negative, like you did a couple podcasts ago, where I turned it around in the back. Yeah, so I put it on backwards, and so now I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna take it off.
Yeah,
and so I start to like peel it off the rim, and my thumbs, like the skin of my thumbs, are so shot from already wrestling with these things for so long.
Yeah,
I just couldn't. I couldn't even get it off of the rim. I was just like, you know what? I'm done. My daughter was off. I said to my daughter, Elle, let's go to breakfast. I'm bringing my bike. I paid them the $20. They did it in like 2 minutes. He also like fixed a little shifting issue that I had. Yeah. My thumbs are way too supple from applying chamois cream. I think that's the
right.
problem.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Dainty thumbs.
Yeah. So it was quite the saga, but I eventually everything is where it needs to be now. So I am excited to try the Radial tires on the Firebird. I really wanted to be able to ride it today, but no luck. So, but I can't wait to get out and see how they feel.
Yeah, man.
You don't change the tires yourself, do you?
I do. Yeah. I mean,
you do.
Yeah. Yep. I do the same thing, move it into the center channel. The Radial tires, I did not put those on. As you know, I had the guy at Creek do it, and he had a really neat trick. He actually laid the rim on a trash can. So with no lid, so it's just an open trash can. He put the rim on the trash can, and then he was able to like use that as leverage. Because the problem is like when you're trying to do that on the floor, right? You have your hub, and then the wheel's like rotating, and it's like blah blah blah. When you put it on the trash can, it makes it flat, and you could really apply like pressure down onto it. Plus, it's at a really good height. So I thought that was a really neat trick that he did. Go ahead, you were going to say something.
I would need to buy a trash can just for that. Like the trash cans that we have these days are like, they're square with the wheels and everything. You know what I mean? Like I'd have to have like a trash can, or I'm like, kids, don't put any garbage in there. That's my tire changing trash can.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yes. That's a really good point. Yeah. So it would not work with a square trash can. The other thing that I wanted to point out is one of the things about the Radial tires is the sidewalls are super stiff. And I wonder if that was that the tread is super supple, but those sidewalls, man, they don't move.
Yeah, but I think that was part of the problem. It's definitely a different type of tire.
Yeah.
And look, every manufacturer, every brand of rims and tires makes them a little bit different. So,
Yeah.
you might have a lot of luck putting on Maxxis, but Continentals are a little bit smaller and just a little bit tighter, or Schwalbes are easy and Continentals aren't, like, who knows?
Yeah.
But they're all different, so listeners, let us know if you have had issues mounting certain brands of tires, or if that's something you do yourself. Certainly any tips. We could talk more about that center channel tip. That'd be a tip of the week.
Yeah.
As far as, because that makes all the difference. It makes all the difference. Yeah.
Hey, metal tire irons. If you don't have one, grab one.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
And now I just watched the video, because between the day that I failed putting on the tire and the next day when I succeeded, I was watching videos on tires. I was like, what am I? And they didn't tell me anything I didn't know.
Yeah.
But this particular video said, do not use metal, because you're better off snapping a plastic one than using metal and cracking a rim. That was his logic.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, and that's the thing. I've broken so many. Now, I've had good luck with the Pedros. The Pedros are the yellow ones. They're infamous.
Okay.
Everybody has Pedros. They are very good. That plastic is very strong. But I use the metal. It's more purchase, and it's so strong. I've never damaged a rim, but I guess that could happen. I guess. I mean, I don't know. That's never happened for me.
Yeah, I just always used the plastic ones. In fact, I just bought those Pedro ones because I did just while I was wrestling with the Schwalbe tire, I did crack a tire lever. So
yeah.
All right. We haven't talked about the comment that we had on episode 19, which was mountain bike speed secrets. Eliminate overthinking for more speed, confidence, and fun.
Yeah.
And great listener and rider Mark commented when we were talking about mountain biking processing speed. And Mark's talking, he's saying, that's probably a skill that you can develop over time, with whatever discipline you're into.
Yeah.
And then I thought what was really interesting, he said, I'd compare it to learning a language. About 15 years ago, my wife and I took to learning a second language. At first, listening to native speakers, I couldn't understand a thing, and they seemed to be speaking incredibly fast.
Yeah.
But over time, as I could understand more, my brain could slow down what they were saying, and I could process and understand it as clearly as if they were speaking English. I think the same thing can happen with riding. Put in enough time and reps, and your brain can process the terrain much faster.
Yeah.
So we were talking about these high-level riders and how fast their processing speed is.
Yeah.
And Mark points out, anything that you're going to expose yourself to over and over, you're going to get better at, and it's going to slow down.
Yeah. When your brain's trying to process the language, it's like you're hearing the sounds and you're trying to process each individual letter or character or whatever. But there are many other parts to language in terms of like inflection and how they're using their hands and what kind of facial expression. So your brain is processing all of that. It's not just the sound that you're hearing, it's processing. Yeah. If I'm going to relate that to jumps, and you go to a jump, and it's like when you first get to a jump, you're thinking about the terrain, you're thinking about the speed, you're thinking about the lip, you're thinking about, it's all of these things. And the more that you do it, the less that you think about all of those things, and you can hone in on a specific thing about the jump. Yeah. And that for me is that processing speed of just like, I can't think of everything all at once. I get overwhelmed. So the more that I do it, I'm like, I start to think less about it. It's like, oh, okay, now I can focus on just the jump part of it because the brain's taking care of everything else.
It's really interesting. I have found the same thing, especially on jumps, but on tech as well.
Yeah.
And when you can session something, but there's so much where I'm thinking. I find this at Desert Trails all the time, and I'm rocking that intermediate line. And it's got those 2 gap jumps at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm really thinking about my body position and how much input I'm putting into the bike and how much weight on my feet and boosting and staying centered. And I'm thinking and I get to that only takes me to a certain level.
Right.
The next level, and I know this intuitively, the next level is letting it all go.
Right.
Is not thinking. Is now like, okay, I know how to do it all. Now I'm going to do it without thinking. I'm just going to flow. I'm just going to be centered and know I've done the reps. My processing speed is there. It's time to trust it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's the flow state. That is literally flow state, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you again, Mark. That was awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. It's staying present. It's being in this present moment and trusting intuition, trusting skills. And a lot of times those thoughts just get in the way. Sage, you've talked about your manifesting technique in the past of manifesting it. Right, you're in front of a feature, you're going to see yourself doing it, and then you take that deep breath and you let all the air out of your lungs, and then you clear your mind.
Yep, let it go.
And then you ride. The thinking's over.
Yep.
It's time to ride.
I love it.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Also, moving on to episode 20, your future self shreds, how to manifest mountain bike confidence for epic flow on all trails. And that was awesome. That was the comment that I think you made about trusting your future self, and that your front wheel is the future, or the current, and the rear wheel is in the past. So don't worry about the rear wheel. Put your front wheel where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And everything else will happen. And I also talked about my crash on Mine Trail that day, and my elbow is healing up nicely, and how the trail kind of disintegrated underneath me. And so AJ he made a comment, and he brought up two, I thought, really interesting points. The first one was, he's kind of saying like, hey, that crash wasn't really your fault, Dan. And he actually said, I'll take the blame on that one, which is ridiculous. But
I saw that.
He said, because I was leading, and on that particular trail, I ran off the trail at the exact same time that you crashed. We should have just slowed it down and enjoyed the ride.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the leader being responsible?
Yeah, man. I thought that was a really interesting comment. Thank you, AJ, for leaving that. I don't know, man. I found myself asking that question, and we're not talking about like a guided ride. Like if you pay money to a tour guide and, that's different, right?
Or they lead you into something where you crash and it's their fault, or it's in any way, shape, or form their fault, or they didn't tell you something was coming up. And
right.
And you paid the money.
Yeah. Right. Right. That's different. But, it does beg the question of like, how much on a regular ride, you're on a regular group ride with your friends, how much of the onus is on the person that's leading the ride? Is there any onus? I often wonder that, because you had, we're going back many pods here, but you had made a comment about like, you need a warm up. And, when we're at Mount Penn, I'm typically leading because that's my mountain. Like I know those trails like the back of my hand. And I guess a little bit of that is my responsibility. I need to be able to put a route together that makes sure that you're warmed up, Outside of that, how much more responsibility falls on a ride leader's shoulder? And is it their fault in any way if someone crashes?
Yeah, I mean, AJ wasn't leading the ride. He was just first on that particular trail. It wasn't like Vaughn and I were out of towners and he was showing us around. We both have been on that trail before. He and Vaughn a lot more than me, but nonetheless, he just happened to be the first one on the trail. So I don't really think that he has any responsibility. I think that we all keep our eyes up and take responsibility, on trails that we know, like when you're doing a group ride and you're all, kind of like somewhere around the same level. If you're an expert and you're taking out someone who's a beginner, that's a different story. If you have friends that like do better when they warm up, then the ride's going to be more fun if you can get everyone like some small victories, like start stacking wins.
Yeah, for sure.
That's going to make the whole ride more fun. So that benefits the ride leader as well.
How about a situation like, and this happened to me, like I'm following somebody and they don't call out something and I get hurt. I'm just like, dude, why didn't you tell me that was a roll? Or why didn't you tell me that was a drop? And how much of that is, when that happens, it's usually me being angry and I'm trying to throw the blame because I don't want to blame myself. But it's really after the fact, I come back and I'm like, yeah, it was your fault. Like you like that was on you,
Yeah.
I mean,
right. I got a couple things to say. I would say when I feel like I've been a bad ride leader is I know that the people behind me like want to follow me and need to follow me.
Yeah.
And I'm going my speed anyway. And so I end up dropping them. You know what I mean? Like you have someone behind you who is maybe not quite up to the same level, or they're your similar level, but they're it's a new trail or something like that. And I'm just like, I'm going to go my speed. Yeah. Whether it's a climb or a downhill, like I'm going my speed, I'm getting my ride in, and then you turn around, they're not there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I was really hoping to follow you. But I've been behind people also where they pull away and I'm like, go have fun. I don't want you to like slow down for me.
Yeah. That, and,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, go have fun. I'll catch up.
Yeah. That, and I'm not comfortable going your speed. There's no way that I could even do that. At this point. So yeah, there's that part of it too. Yeah, I think you and I would both agree that if you're on a group ride, the onus is probably on you. I would say 90% of the time, the onus is on you.
Yeah.
And for
AJ's
me,
off the hook.
Yeah. Oh, definitely off the hook. Absolutely off the hook. And
all right, let me call my lawyer. Let me just make a quick phone call. I got it.
Lawyers. Yeah.
the lawsuit's off. Yeah. I'm going to call Rafi. That's a joke for anyone here in Phoenix. There's Rafi signs all over the place. Or the husband and wife law team.
Yes. I remember.
I've never seen so many legal signs in this ever, except as in the Valley. There's so much, so litigious. So I'm sorry, AJ. I had to sue you. The lawyers are.
You have no choice.
Billboards of lawyers holding up money bags all over the place. I got to get a piece
of this. Yeah, man. For me, for my part, I need to do a better job of like that not being my first reaction of like when I fall, I'll be like, oh, it wasn't my fault. It was, like, no, dude. First of all, it doesn't have to be anyone's fault, but if it is anyone's fault, it's your fault. But grace for myself. Figure out what happened.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. Like you and I have changed a lot as riders. And that's one of the things that I have been working on, if you have somebody like that on the ride, by the way, it's super downer, makes everybody feel uncomfortable when someone gets hurt and they're like instantly angry at everybody else or whatever. It's not a good vibe to be around. Yeah.
I didn't blame him on that ride or afterwards. Like I never once thought this was AJ's fault. Like I said, Vaughn and AJ rode that same section and did not fall.
Yeah.
So it was possible. Like, like whatever I did caused the trail to put me on the ground. But, I appreciate him. And I understand that. I understand thinking that, like, cause where he ended up on the trail was like kind of dangerous as well. Like it was a really ugly section of trail that we were just going too fast. We just didn't realize that we had no idea it was there. All of a sudden the trail's like kind of gone.
Yeah.
That's really what happened.
Yeah.
And, Vaughn was able to stop. AJ ran off of the trail and I fell. It was just, it was a little bit of bad luck, but when your buddy's like bleeding and, filling up the glove with blood and got this like nasty gouge, you're just like, oh crap.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. And AJ is one of those riders that like really cares more than other riders. Like I will say this about AJ, like when we rode with him at Hawes, he really wanted to take the time to explain each feature to us in great detail, almost to the point where I was like, all right, AJ, I got it. Like you're feeding me too much information. But my point is like, he wants people to succeed so much. I think he wears that.
Oh yeah.
I think he wears that on his chest, So when you went down, he probably felt that like, oh man, I didn't give Dan enough information, or I wasn't there for him when he needed it. And I could see that from AJ because he's just such a caring individual and he wants people to succeed. Shout out AJ.
Yeah. And I think, and if you're looking for a house, AJ's a realtor. He's a great guy to work with. His Instagram, check out his Instagram. We'll have it in the show notes.
Yeah.
Give him a little plug. But yeah, he's an awesome dude. Mountain bikers are awesome. You know what I mean? There's something about this sport that like if like 9 times out of 10, you meet someone who's into mountain biking, like they've just got this like cool vibe about them. It's just like mountain bikers are they're really good people. I was thinking about, well, I mean, to backtrack a little bit, I was thinking about when we were at Blue Mountain and we were doing the big jump line there, and I felt like I was finally going to clear everything, and then there was a guy in front of me, and I slowed down and I didn't get the jumps. And when we stopped and we talked to those guys, we weren't actually talking to them. I was just like voicing my frustration that there was someone in the way and I wasn't able to finish those jumps. And really, I think what it comes down to that kind of behavior is because I wasn't confident enough to know that I could just go back and do it again. It really came down to my own insecurities, that I was like, oh, I almost got these jumps. If these guys weren't in front of me, I would have gotten them. Yeah, that's true. But if you really feel confident in doing all those jumps, you can just do it the next run, where you would have done it the previous run. It wouldn't be that big a deal. I wouldn't have had to put so much energy into that.
Yeah.
That one run.
But also, I mean, if we're talking about that situation, it's one of those things. There's a lot more to it than just that. Like you were genuinely excited. It was a rough start. You hadn't been jumping because you were in Arizona, so there's not many jump bike parks. They have tech bike parks, but there's no jump bike parks. And you were really excited, and I can understand that. I can understand that frustration of like, this is the run. This is the run. It's happening. Like I finally connected it, and then to have that happen, that's incredibly frustrating. Now, I'm not saying, what you did was
no, right. It doesn't excuse it.
It doesn't excuse it, but
being not, I just talked about 9 out of 10 mountain bikers being cool. At that day, on that moment, I was number 10. I was the 10th guy that's not cool.
Those poor guys. Oh my Lord.
Yeah. And I used to be that guy more often. I used to really have a lot less patience and a lot less grace.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older and I've chilled out and I'm more about the vibe and having fun than anything and inclusivity.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes those old behaviors still come out, and that's there to serve me, to show me like, hey, that's still in there. Take a look at those thoughts, because I don't want to respond like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have certainly grown a lot in that aspect. I've had a few tastes of that, of my own medicine, or that's not even the right word, but like, me walking away from hardline, and my first thought was, well, when am I ever going to be here again? And I quickly let that go. Like, that's just, those thoughts don't serve. And why bring down the group, which is basically what was happening. I was feeling sorry for myself and bringing down everybody else. And that's not cool either. So grace.
This conversation really segues perfectly into the next comment that we got from great listener Dan at Juggernaut MTB. Dan is the Dan. Listener with the crash
sash.
Sash. I always get that word wrong.
Yes.
I always want to say stash. The crash sash, yes. Which was if you haven't listened, go back and listen to all the podcasts. But it's a hilarious bit that he has going with his riding buddies, and he has got a really great comment. Go into the YouTube and read the comments and get involved in the conversation. So he starts it off with another terrific podcast from the Dainty Taint dynamic duo.
Dainty Taint, thank you.
I love it. It's very funny. He's anti-BOA, which I thought was very interesting, because we were talking about the shoes on that podcast, and so he's pro laces. And he said that Sage rightly calls me out for a self-defeatist comment he made on a prior episode, and that he has a hard time giving himself grace. He says, why no self-grace? I think maybe on some level, I'm afraid of giving myself an easy out. If that makes any sense, how do you balance that? And then he says that he wanted to share a quote that he read, and he's paraphrasing. Maybe the reason you don't feel like you're improving is because you're constantly raising the bar. Two really interesting things in there, I thought.
Yeah. It is really hard to have grace for yourself. I find it so much easier to have grace for others. But when I look at myself, my internal speak is something I've really had to work on for a really long time. And you had rightfully pointed out to me that it was a lack of self-worth. And it's true, and I'm not talking about just joking around, like, we all do that, we make jokes about ourselves and we put ourselves down. But how often are those jokes, that's funny. How often are those jokes a mirror into yourself? Like, maybe there's some truth to that. You're joking about it, but how much of that, there's an ounce of truth to that, so I try not to do as many of those kind of jokes either, because I don't want to think that way about myself. I do want to think that I'm worthy, and we're all worthy.
Yeah, I completely agree. The self-deprecating humor is often funny, but there is usually truth in there. And that is something that we've pointed out in each other. You and I think, went through probably like a solid year where we would get to the parking lot and, I'd say something nice to you and you would deflect. You'd say something nice to me
Oh
and I would
gosh,
deflect
yeah.
the compliment. And we just
Yes.
started calling each other out on it. No deflecting, except
Yeah.
I say something nice to you, the bike looks good, or that's
Right.
you look like you lost some weight, or you got the jersey looks cool, or awesome riding today. No deflecting.
That's
We
right.
want to deflect. We're like not comfortable. And so we actually had like a really, and it's nice if you can do that with a friend or a spouse,
Yeah.
that of like, let's compliment each other sincerely and let's call each other out when we're deflecting. And if you can give other people grace and you can't give yourself grace, then first of all, that's a lot of awareness, Dan, to notice that. Like, that's huge. That's
Yeah.
awesome. You are
Huge step.
on the way.
Yeah.
But you are worthy of feeling good all the time.
Yeah.
And when you have positive self-talk and you're giving yourself grace, he's concerned that if he gives himself too much grace, if he gives himself too much positive feedback, then he won't be motivated to get out and train, to ride harder. And I have not found that to be the case. I think that that's just a thought. That's a conditioned belief that if we aren't hard on ourselves, we aren't going to work hard. Play with that. Is that true? Test it out. Be nice to yourself and see whether or not it's true. I think you're still going to be motivated to go out and work hard and ride hard and train hard, or whatever it is that you're concerned you may not want to do if you're too nice to yourself.
Listen, I mean, if you're someone that has come from sports, like I grew up playing basketball and soccer, and if a coach came over to me and he said, "Nice job," I wasn't like, "Oh, I can rest on my laurels." It made me want to work harder. Him complimenting me was like, "Oh, that felt really good. That felt really good, and I want that again." And so I'm going to go even harder. And so look at it that way, Dan. And one of the things that I do want to bring up about the self-deflecting stuff is I was doing that out of, when you had brought that up, I was doing that because I thought that was the right thing to do, but I didn't understand the why. And so I was just like, "Oh, you look good today. Thanks, Dan." And I was just saying it just to make you happy and make me happy. But I don't understand why it was important to do that. And one of the things
about the compliment, are you talking about the compliment or accepting the compliment?
Accepting the compliment. You'd come to the lot, Sage.
Accepting the compliment.
Okay. Oh, you working out? You're looking good. Oh, thank you, Dan. But I didn't understand why that was important. Why
it was important to accept the compliment versus deflecting. I understand.
Yes.
All right. I got you.
And the person that actually explained it to me,
I'll stop interrupting now.
The person that actually explained it to me was your wife. Your wife actually came over to me and she said, the reason why it's important to accept the grace that someone else has given you, the compliment that someone else is giving you. Maybe it's money, maybe it's a gift, maybe it's words, whatever it is, because you have to close that circle. She said, "Sage, you are so giving of yourself, and this had come up because you wanted to pay for my flight to go to Arizona." And I was struggling with that. I was like, I can't do that. I've been a very prideful person all my life, and I've never let anybody give me anything. I was like, "No, I got to work hard," and blah, 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 blah. And I could not go to Arizona because I couldn't let myself accept this gift that you were like, "Look, I have the points. It's not even like actual cash. It's like points. Just take it and let's ride together. Let's be together. Let's have fun." I couldn't let myself do that. And it was Lauren like verbally like slapping me in the face. Like, "What are you doing? Wake up. You have given," she said, "you would give your points to somebody else, wouldn't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would. I have done that kind of stuff, where I've paid for someone's breakfast or I've done all this, and I've given up myself." And she's like, "Well, then you need to accept that. And you have to close that circle and make it whole. Because what's going to happen is if you keep turning that away, it's going to stop coming." And I was like, whoa, That's big. If you keep turning away people's good graces, you keep turning away gift, you're basically telling the universe, "I'm not worthy of this and I don't want it." And what's going to happen is eventually people are going to stop offering it to you. So close the circle. Close the circle.
Yeah. Open to receive. That's really well put, beautifully put. Open to receive. We say these words all the time. Open to receive. What is here for me?
Yeah.
What is here for me? And so when you're open to receive, then now you can get that abundance. And so if you want to feel good about yourself, you're open to receive feeling good. We're here to feel good. Why not feel good? That's what we should be striving for every day. That's the point. Whether you're on a mountain bike or on your way to work or doing something that you really don't want to have to do, what's here for me? How is this going to benefit me? This is all going to work out for me. If there's a problem, the solution is right behind it, and trust it.
Yeah.
Feel good.
And gosh, my words are escaping me today, but what came out of that? What came out of that was I had an awesome time in Arizona with you. I could have closed that down. That could have never happened. All these experiences that you and I had, we cleared gap jumps. We cleared huge rock rolls. We did all this stuff. We hugged. We laughed. We had meals together. I was willing to throw that all away. Yeah. Stupid pride. How silly is that?
Yeah. And the pride is just a thought. That's just conditioned thoughts. It may not even be your thought. It might be something that was given to you. It might just, it's something that we're picking up when we're kids, or, it's just something. And same thing when we're not accepting compliments. No, I'm supposed to be humble. I'm supposed to be humble. I'm not supposed to accept this, right? That's just a thought. And so we want to ride well, we let go of thoughts, and we ride better. You want to live well, you let go of thoughts, and you live better. But it's all connected. It's all connected. Mountain biking, is just so synchronicitous with our lives. It's awesome. This sport provides so much grist for the mill on mindset things and bringing awareness. So, Dan, I want to compliment you again on noticing that about yourself, and just play with it. Listener, play with it. Anyone that's listening to this, just like play with. Yeah, let me just see what happens if I do accept the compliment, if I do accept the abundance, if I am open to receive, and if I speak really well to myself.
Yeah,
what's going to happen? What's the best that can happen?
Yeah, Dan. We're Dan's an older gentleman like you and I. And I think a lot of older folks, from our generation, struggle with that. Well, maybe I'll use that. No, I'm not going to deflect. Yes, we are gentlemen. You tried to.
Yes, we are gentlemen.
You tried to.
Yeah.
I saw you did that.
I'm not accepting a compliment. Yeah. I don't know. What did he call us? He called us the Dainty Taint dynamic duo.
Right. Yes.
It doesn't sound like gentlemen to me. The Dainty Taint dynamic gentleman.
Yeah. Well, my point
is
a
very exclusive and a very expensive club.
Yes, it does. But my point was, I think a lot of people from our generation just really struggle with that. That you have to earn it. Things aren't supposed to be given to you. You have to earn it, and suck it up type of attitude. And there are some good things that come out from that, but there's a lot of negatives that come out from that kind of an attitude as well. And I'm constantly breaking down barriers, those walls.
Can we get that good stuff without that negative stuff? I think that's the crux of it, is that somewhere along the line, we made the connection that I need to have this negative stuff to get this good stuff.
Right.
Is that true? Question everything. Question every thought. No thought should be trusted. These thoughts are crazy.
They can't be trusted.
Crazy. They can't be trusted. I can't do the slab. That's a thought. You can do it. You got it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe not in that case. But absolutely. I forget what was the point I was making. It was good.
Your thoughts couldn't be trusted.
Rewind it. Listen to it again. Yes. Not sure what it was, but it was very good. Yes.
No. You're right. And you said what
right.
You would start
the
was
negative.
With question everything. Yes. And things don't have to be bad.
Right. Yeah. Then that we feel
right.
It doesn't have to be difficult before it gets good. Do we have to work incredibly hard before we get wealthy? There's people out there that are just wealthy. You know what I mean? Is that absolutely true? Can we just feel good about these things and then let them happen instead of having to have this period of not feeling good because we believe that's the only way to make good things happen? It's something I've been working with and struggling with for a couple of years right now. And as I move away from, I have to work hard and do all these hard things, and all these bad things have to happen first before I can have something good. As I've moved away from that, my life has gotten better.
I love that, man. I love that. And you are someone that still works hard, by the way. You know, you when it's time to get on the trainer, you still work hard. You know, when it's time to work on the jumps, you're at Desert Trails putting in, you know, an hour, 2 hours at Desert Trails. It's 110 degrees out, you know, like we're still working hard. But the point is, you don't have to, one doesn't equal the other. Do you know what I mean? Like, actually,
I don't have to berate myself. I don't have to berate myself and make myself feel like I'm not strong enough in order to go get on the trainer and work hard.
Right.
I just do it because it feels good, and then now I feel good on the trails.
Right. Exactly. Thank you. So you helped me out there.
It's a subtle shift, but it's absolutely there.
Right.
So really, really cool stuff. And Dan, I'm proud of you. I think you're on. Even though your comment was that you feel like you're not on that path, the comment shows that you are.
Bam.
So you got this, brother. And everyone that's listening, everyone that can relate to what we're saying, and let us know. Ride and Laugh 1 at Gmail, YouTube comments. Let us know any of this mindset stuff, anything that you're wondering about, or that doesn't make. If we're talking about something that doesn't sync with you, or it doesn't make sense, let us know. We'd love to get more into it and help you out with that. We will always respond on the YouTube in writing, and then a lot of times it's good podcast topic as well, because I think a lot of people, you know, struggle with these same sorts of things, and they really do coordinate on the bike with our confidence on the bike. So much of riding well is confidence, and so much of confidence is positive self-talk.
Yeah, love that, man.
I will not go another podcast without reading our Apple review of the week.
Yes,
one of our most recent Apple reviews of the week, because it is fantastic. Please rate and subscribe if you haven't already. Or do it again. Rate and subscribe on your podcast player. Can you do it twice? I don't know. Grab a friend's phone, grab a wife's phone, grab a husband's phone, and
love it.
And rate and subscribe. Set the little notification bell so that you always know when our podcast comes out. Set us to auto downloads, and on YouTube, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. Tell your friends, forward it to your friends, especially if there's a specific episode that you really like. And then if you go onto Apple, you can give us 5 stars, and you can actually leave a review. Leave any sort of review that you want, as long as it's 5 stars, of course. But honestly, some of the reviews are just really nice, and some of them are also kind of funny and worth reading on the pod. So this review on Apple Podcasts is from PokeyYJ.
Oh.
And the title says, "Shake Weight, sponsor these guys." And the review reads, "Based on recommendations from Dan and Sage, I have implemented shake weight training in my routine. Increased stability and grip strength, and a relaxed mindset were instantly realized. I've recommended shake weights to all my friends. Thanks for all the laughs and riding tips. It's been a lifesaver as I recover from paying the dirt tax with a broken collarbone and a torn AC and CC ligaments." So it sounds like PokeyYJ went down pretty hard, but I'm glad that we can bring some levity. Yes. And that you're enjoying the podcast. And thank you very much, PokeyYJ, for leaving that awesome review.
Clearly a listener with the shake weight reference. I love it. PokeyYJ, I'm sending healing vibes your way, my friend. And a free shake weight.
Yes. Yes. What else do we have to send for free?
That's it. we need some more.
We need some actual sponsors. You know, we need something that we can send to. That would be
stickers.
Cool. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Shake weight with a Ride and Laugh sticker on it. That's what I want to get.
Hey, we can make that happen. We'll make that happen. Talk to corporate.
Yeah, I think we can make that happen. Yeah. I think we could probably make that happen. So. Oh boy. All right. Excellent conversation as always.
Yes.
Should we get into our mountain bike gratitudes of the week?
Absolutely. And this was a heavy podcast, and I have a very light gratitude. And this is something that is very near and dear to my heart. Danny, as you know, my fuel is coffee. That's all I drink. I don't drink water. I don't drink Gatorade. It's coffee from day to night. And I was really struggling with this coffee maker that I had before. It stopped making good coffee. I got a new one. I got a single cup brewer. It's changed everything. my every mountain bike ride starts with a good cup of coffee. And this was killing me that I couldn't get my darn coffee right. And this thing's changed everything. Yeah. I got my fuel back, buddy. Bam. Shout out Hampton.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it Hampton? Am I saying that right?
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Is it Hamilton?
It is Hamilton.
Yes.
Oh, terrible shout.
This is why we don't have sponsors.
That's right.
Neither of us can remember the names of anything, and we're butchering everything, you know.
Oh my Lord. Sorry, Hamilton.
What do you think? Excellent gratitude. I'm glad that you are enjoying your coffee. I know how important that is to you, and you've become quite the coffee connoisseur over the years. So it's not a K cup anymore. You're using grounds.
I am using grounds. Yes. I graduated.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. Very, very nice. And I'm looking forward to trying that on my next visit. Your coffee machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Dan called us a Dainty Taint duo, and I said something about that being a exclusive gentleman's club. No, that sounds like a strip club. What do you think about the name, the Dainty Taint? I guess that sounds like a gay gentleman's club, doesn't it? All right, gay listeners, let us know. Would you go to the Dainty Taint? Is that a thing? Nothing to say on that one.
I got nothing to say.
And what's your gratitude of the week? Yeah. My mountain bike gratitude of the week, and I don't know that I've used this specifically before. I certainly have used Trainer Road before, but I'm going to say my Wahoo Kicker bike shift, which is like it's the Wahoo trainer. It's ERG. It's all hooked up into one, and it works really well. Stick actually recommended it. I got it when I moved out here to Arizona. I barely used it. I was thinking about returning it because all winter I rode 2-3 times a week. I was just outside. It's nice. Yeah. It's sunny here every day, and the weather was fantastic. And then I got busy, and the summer hit, and the heat was like, either you get out at 5:45, 6 in the morning, or you just don't get out. And I started riding the trainer again. And I don't want to say I fell in love with it again because I hate it, but I fell in love with the structured workout. I fell in love with the benefits. Yeah. I'm suffering through these workouts, but then I'm getting on the trail and I'm feeling strong and I'm feeling good. And the workouts are so succinct. They're so, an hour and a half on the weekend, which I almost never do because I almost always ride on the weekend. So, but like an hour of suffering and getting through. And even in that hour, maybe it's actually like 20 minutes of like real hard work, 30 minutes, it just depends on how it's structured. But that bike is it's pretty cool. The erg bike, the electronically controlled, I got a great setup here, as you know, and as I've been using that, my FTP's been going up, and I use Trainer Road to go with it, and I watch mountain bike videos, but I feel like I'm getting stronger, and I really appreciate that, and I can do that from the comfort of my own home with a couple of fans on me and some mountain bike videos. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a loaded gratitude. There's so much in there that it's not only just the erg, but it's also Trainer Road, and all that stuff. So, but yeah, man, that you have been so strong as of late, and I can only attribute that to the amount of work that you're putting into that trainer. Holy moly, I'm super jealous because out here when it hits the winter time, and even in the spring when it's like raining all the time, a lot of times I can't ride, and I get a little bit jealous. And now the caveat there is they're not cheap, right? I mean, how much was that Wahoo setup?
Gosh, I don't remember because I bought it when I first moved out here, so that was over a year ago.
Over $1,000.
Yeah, they are. Oh yeah, well over $1,000. Yeah, I think the ones that you put onto your road bike, I think they used to be $1,100-$1,200. I'm pretty sure you can get like an electronically controlled an erg trainer that goes onto your a road bike, so you take the wheel off and you put this thing on instead. I think you could probably get that in the $800 or $900 range now, but I think this thing was probably close to $2,000. I don't remember exactly, but it was an investment for sure.
Yeah.
No, but I also knew I've been riding this for a really long time. I've been using Trainer for a really long time, so it was something that I thought I would get my money's worth. And for a while, I wasn't sure about it.
Boy, have you ever?
I am now.
Yeah, boy, have you ever. You are super strong. It really comes down to what you're into. and for you and I, fitness is important. That's something that we work very hard to stay in shape. And like I said, you're riding stronger than ever. So kudos to you and kudos to Wahoo for making an awesome machine.
Oh, thank you. I accept the compliment. I'm not sure I'm riding stronger than ever, but I feel good. At 49, I feel really good. And that's awesome. All
right, Danny. Mountain bike tip goes back to something that we were talking about earlier today with the Pedro levers. And I love, love, love this. And I think a lot of, by the way, you don't need a Pedro lever. I think a lot of tire levers have this. But if you ever wondered what these little things were at the other side of the lever, it's to hook your tire lever to the spoke of your wheel. So if you are changing your tire and you need a second set of hands, you always have two levers, by the way, never just have one lever, have two levers. You can actually get the tire lever underneath the tire, hook it onto the spoke of your rim, and then use the other lever to work around the tire. And so that is my mountain bike tip. If you're just getting into mountain biking, you're always wondering, well, hey, what's this little notch out here for? It's to hook it onto your spoke. So that is my mountain bike tip. And get yourself some Pedro levers. Oh, we need Ride and Laugh levers.
Yes. That would be good.
Yo.
That would be cool. Ride and Laugh everything. Ride and Laugh swag. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Your shake weight comes with tire levers. Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
That's a great tip. And I think the Pedros has it, but I think you'll find that on the end of most tire levers, there's going to be some sort of hooking mechanism. And when you're trying to get a tire off, and you break the bead, and you get that tire lever under there, and then you hook that onto the spoke, it really is an extra set of hands. And then the other hand is the other lever gets underneath the tire, and you really and pushes, so that you can break the bead, and then the hand that you're now is free is pulling. Right. So it really does. It adds so much leverage. It really, really helps. And it's such a simple little thing. I don't think I knew that right away. I'm pretty sure that when I was a newbie, I had no idea what those were for. Yeah. So that's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I learned it watching one of Seth's videos, Seth's, well, he's not Seth Bike Hacks anymore, but what's he go by now?
Burn Peak.
Burn Peak. Yeah. So
Burn Peak, right?
There you go. We just aged ourselves.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Well, if you're still listening, you are definitely one of us. You love mountain biking. We appreciate you. Please rate and subscribe on your podcast player. Please set us to auto download. Please tell your friends. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, and leave a comment. Ride and Laugh 1 at Gmail. We accept super thanks. Everybody, thank you so much for watching and for listening. We appreciate you. Have a fantastic week and a great week of riding. Ride and Laugh.
I'll see everyone.